Hey everybody, it's Ben, and this is my Cardiff Comic Con haul. This is going to be a haul slash vlog video, as I left a comment in reply to Mark or MAWWW1 about a vlog type video about my overall impressions of the Comic Con. First off, it was an awesome weekend, and I really enjoyed it. So much so that I'm definitely going back for the next Cardiff Comic Con in November. Because it was just awesome. I mean, all the sellers that I bought comics from, they were all lovely. They were all really accommodating. They were all really helpful and really just like to have a chat with with their customers. And it just felt like just talking to a fellow comic, you know, a fellow a fellow comic fan really. And they just happened to be selling comics, especially Mark of Resurrection Comics, which actually, Michael Moore, if you're watching this video, mate, you remember that I told you about Resurrection Comics, or ask for Mark or Nick, because Mark is actually going to the Newcastle Comic Con, which I know you're going to, so hopefully if you can see the logo, if I just get my fingers out of the way, there you go. Look out for this logo and this way of writing for Resurrection Comics, and ask for Mark and tell him that Ben sent you, or tell him Ben from Cardiff Comic Con sent you, and then hopefully, fingers crossed, he remember me, because I was talking to him for pretty much the full 2 days I was there anyway, aside from looking round on occasion obviously. But Mark was the guy that I bought the vast majority of my comics from, because his prices were just brilliant, and he was just a really great guy, very knowledgeable, and just such a nice guy to talk to. So yeah, like I said, Michael Moore, look up Resurrection Comics at Newcastle. Anyway, so without further ado, let's get into what I got. I'm gonna probably split this video into two parts actually. I'm gonna show you the smaller press comics, the artwork and the prints, and the 50p comics that I got from Comic Con. So we'll start out with the smaller press books. First up, we have issues 1 to 3 of Stiffs, which is co-written by Joseph Glass and Drew Davis and PJ Montgomery, and the artwork is by Gavin Mitchell. Now, I met both Joe and Gavin at the Comic Con, as well. I also met Drew as well on the Sunday, and this is a really funny comic. This is a guy and his monkey, who is called Kenny, who can talk, and is actually the best part of this comic because his dialogue is just laugh out loud hilarious. And Don Daniels, who is our human of the main, our two main characters. This is set against the backdrop in the Welsh Valleys in South Wales. So if there's anybody watching this who's from South Wales, or from Wales in general, you might recognise, some of the stuff that goes on here, especially some of the dialogue and some of the slang that's used in this comic. But Stiffs is just really fun. Like I said, it's Don and Kenny who are basically zombie hunters, and this is just a really great laugh out loud funny comic. Really enjoyable, really well written, really well illustrated. I'll show you the opening page, because I don't want to spoil anything, but there's a peek of what the artwork looks like even. I actually, as I said, I met Joe, Gavin and Drew at the Comic Con, and I actually got all three of them to actually sign my issue. So there's the cover for issue 1. This is published through, let's have a look. See if I can find anything. I can't remember who it's published by. Oh yeah, I can. It's it's Smoking Simeon. It's Smoking Simeon Sequentials. I don't know if that's actually the comic logo or what, but yeah, as you can see, it's in the top right corner. Yeah, that was pretty funny. So yeah, definitely recommend Stiffs. actually read it twice on the train down for the Sunday of the Comic Con. So there's a copy. There's the cover to issue 2. Oh, if I'm going through these too quick, let me just if you want to pause the video and so you can have a look at these covers, by all means, please feel free. So there's issue 2. Issue number 3, which is the Employee of the Month cover, which yeah, just a really cool cover. And as I said, I got the guys to all sign it. So there's Joe's, Drew's, and Gavin's signatures on the cover. I will be doing reviews for each of these, and hopefully get these guys some more exposure, because what I've read of Stiffs, I really enjoyed, and I want all of you guys to pick it up and read it for yourselves. I'll also include links to the websites and respective Facebook pages as well. Next up is another creation of Joe and Gavin's, and that is The Pride, which deals with the troubles of putting together a superhero team which is comprised of lesbians, bisexuals, gays, bisexuals, and transgenders, from all different walks of life and all different types of superheroes. I haven't actually read this yet, but I really enjoy what I read of issue 1 when I flicked through it initially, and I read some of it on the train down, but unfortunately, by the time I actually started to get fully into it, I arrived at Cardiff Central, so I had to get off the train, unfortunately. But there's the cover to issue 1. Issue 2. Now this is actually published through the publisher of Queer Comics, as you can see from the top right corner. So there's the cover to issue 2. And issue number 3. Really looking forward to delving into this and giving it a read and a review. Let me show you some of the artwork. Let me see if I can flip to, there you go. Show you some of the artwork, as you can see there. Really great cartoony style artwork, which I really like, but I can certainly see how that might not necessarily be for everyone. So that's issues 1 to 3 of The Pride, and for the final self-published book we have Light of Darkness, which is published by Victor, a guy by the name of Victor Wright. I actually got the chance to actually meet both Victor and his wife at both days on the Comic Con. And this is published through the company of Geeky Comics, which again, I'll leave a link to their website and Facebook page below in the description. So if any of you are interested in checking out their stuff, you can do so by all means. And I also got Victor to sign the bottom right corner of Light of Darkness, as you can see there. This is basically, it's the son of Satan and he wants to take over the world, essentially. There's also a novel of this as well, but the comics are going to be a little bit of a different reading experience, because whereas you can read the entire story all at once in the novel, Victor's going to actually take his time with putting out the comics, which make up the entire story in the novel. So this is issue 1, as you can see, and this is also available digitally as well. I always have trouble saying that for some reason. So yeah, I'll just show you some of the artwork. Both, I mean, Victor was a really nice guy. I really enjoyed talking to him. He's just a really nice guy. He's very friendly, very accommodating, and his wife was also really lovely as well. She actually did try talking me into getting more of the comics that they had on offer at the Comic Con. But unfortunately, I had a bit of a lack of funding after a little while, so I couldn't buy any more. But I will keep my promise, and I will I will buy some more comics off them in November when I go back for the next Comic Con. Next up, I'm going to show you the artwork that I got from the Comic Con. Just bear with me while I put my smaller press books back into this little poly pocket, which I know isn't ideal storage wise, but I'm kind of running low on bags and boards at the moment, as I bought a ton of back issues over the weekend and I've used up nearly all of my bags and boards, so I will need to buy some more. Excuse me while I just talk to myself as I just put these back. I will put these in their own respective bag and board, even though they're probably going to move about a fair bit because they're obviously smaller press books, but I'm going to put them in with my other comics anyway. So that's the smaller press books. Hang on. Put that over there a minute. Right, I'm back. Right, okay. First up, we have probably the most awesome of the two sketches that I got. This is a sketch I got from Simon Williams of, you may recognize his name from The Incredible Hulk and Spider-Man from Marvel. And this is a full body sketch of Death's 2 of the Marvel UK characters, which I actually see Simon on a regular basis because he's one of the customers at my local comic shop. So I struck up a conversation with him, asking if he was going to the convention. He was one of the artists there, and I asked him, you know, could you do me a sketch of Death's Head? And he said, do you want just a body shot, or do you want a headshot, or what? So I said to him, a headshot initially, and it cost me a tenner. But I was very pleasantly surprised and very happy with the fact that I got a full body shot along with the head as well. So that's awesome. So yeah, there's Death's Head 2 by Simon Williams. And these sleeves, which I got these prints in and whatnot, I will be keeping these in them, and I will be getting frames for these ASAP and putting them up on my wall. Next up, we have my John Constantine sketch by David Lloyd. I was actually lucky enough to get a photo with him, as well as have a great chat with him about his work with Alan Moore on V for Vendetta, and also his working relationship with Alan Moore, and what he's currently doing, or what he's doing currently, which he's publishing a story through Aces Weekly, which, let me just grab the, see if I can grab the badges. There we are. Some of the other things I got from the Comic Con were these little Ace Weekly badges. Hopefully you guys can see these. So there's one, and there's two. Might throw one of these in a package I'm sending to a buddy of mine, so yeah, might throw one of those in. Next up, we have the two prints I got off Simon Williams, and that is of Thor from the Retro Comics group. This is more of a heavy metal kind of take on Thor. So there's the first print. Again, if you guys want to see these in greater detail, feel free to pause the video. And there's the other print, which is probably my favourite of the two, personally. As you can see that. Just bear with me 1 second while I just put these back in my box. Which I actually bought the print covers for these from a print seller at the con, so along with the box as well, which the guy threw the box in for free, as I said, I was running quite low on funds after a little while at the convention, so I did have enough money for the prints, for the print sleeves, but didn't have enough for anything to carry them in, unfortunately. So the guy threw in this box for free, so that was pretty awesome of him. So there's the prints. And next up, we're now going to get to the 50p comics. But before we get to the 50p comics, I'm going to show you the 3 comics that I got for free, because I had a bit of a deal from one of the sellers. So first up, we have Cloak and Dagger, issue number 1, which I got for... Actually, this one wasn't free, the other 2 were. So I got this for £1. The seller I got this from, he was selling comics for, I think it was 6 for £5 or £1 each. So I capitalized on the deal and I found a bunch of issues and I made it up to 12 comics. Unfortunately, I picked out 10 without initially thinking of it, so I didn't pick out 12. But he said I'll throw these in for free, which I'll show you the next 2 comics which are free in a minute. So he did me basically 12 comics for a tenner, which was really cool of him. And he did offer me some deals as well towards the end of the Comic Con. So next up is the 2 free comics. So that's Cloak and Dagger issue number 4, which is Strange Tales featuring Cloak and Dagger and Doctor Strange. As you can see there. I couldn't believe I found Cloak and Dagger number 1 for £1. I was quite shocked. But like I said, I wasn't going to leave it there. So, and then there's number 5, which is the last of the free comics. As you can see there. Okay, now to the 50p comics. First up, Batman and Two-Face, issue number 4, from the new issue number 24 rather, from the new 52, which is the start of the Two-Face arc. As you can see there. Next up, we have Doctor Strange, issue number 80, which is Doctor Strange Sorcerer Supreme, which is written by Warren Ellis. Again, I got it for 50p. Actually, the rest of these comics are going to be 50p until I take a short break and I film part 2. So, and this is for, these next 2 covers are for MAWWW1 and Adam Butterfield. This is Web of Spider-Man, issue 107. With a really great cover of Spidey going up against Flip Marko, aka the Sandman. Or Sandman, I should say. As you can see there. And next up is Web of Spider-Man, issue number 111. With Spidey going up against Kirk Connors, aka the Lizard. I have actually got, I think I've got issue 51 and a couple of the annuals of this series. Which I just haven't showcased because they've been in my my comic boxes, but I'll show them off eventually. Next up we have Namor, issue number 4. Again, I've got a random issue of this. I'm not sure which issue, but I'll have to get it out and check. It's the issue where Iron Fist is trapped in some sort of monster or creature and Namor has to save him on the front cover. Can't remember what issue number that was though. Next up, Namor issue number 5 with Iron Man, Mr. Fantastic, and I believe possibly Sue Storm on the front cover, or the floating heads of them anyway. So it's issue number 5. Just move these over slightly. Next up is X Factor issue number 51. With a really great cover of Archangel on the front, as you can see that. Next up, X Factor issue number 70, which is written by Peter David, who actually took over with this series. This is volume 1. He took over with issue 71, so it's issue 70. Which is the wrap-up to the Muir Island storyline. Next up is another issue, which is issue 78, with a really great cover showcasing X Factor along with Nathaniel Essex, aka Mr. Sinister. And that is the final 50p comic. So, I'm going to take a short break. Actually, no, I won't take a short break. Just a moment. I will show you my 2 Hellblazer trades, which I got signed by David Lloyd on the front cover. as you can see there. Really nice of him to sign the front covers, as well as the issue that he worked on. This particular volume collects the Horrorist 2-issue mini-series, which was in a prestige format, which is written by Jamie Delano. And as you can see, there's the original series cover to the first issue. And then Dave signed the very first page. So there's that. And he also signed the front cover as well as the original series cover to my Hellblazer Volume 4, which is The Family Man. Volume 2, which I've just shown you, is The Devil You Know. That's a really great, that's a fantastic Brian Boland cover, by the way, to Volume 4, which is the re-released edition of this volume. And Dave also signed issue number 25, which is the one-shot issue which he did along with Grant Morrison on the writing. And then again, David Lloyd signed the original series cover, as you can see there. Okay, now I will wrap up this part 1, and I will then come back and I will film part 2. So thank you everybody for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Didn't like it, thumbs it down. As I always say, if you thumbs down the video, by all means please feel free to tell me why in the comments below, or send me a private message. And if it's your first time here, by all means please feel free to subscribe. And until next time, this is Gambit896 signing off, and I will see you back momentarily for part 2.